Everything is about politics, whether you like it or not. We can't deny that at the moment the buzzing noise that is politics is surrounding us and you can't escape it. Before I continue, I just want to let you know that I'm not here to push political beliefs on you. I'm simply stating my observations of what I'm currently seeing in this political climate. Oh, and also I'm reading most of this off of my laptop. So I apologize in advance if I'm looking out down here. Welcome back to my channel, and let's get started on this yap session. Political overwhelm is defined as a nervous system response to unrelenting news cycles and civic fatigue. And honestly, I think the definition is a little exaggerated, but let's put that aside and actually talk about this. Political or civic overwhelm, in my words, is essentially when you're constantly bombarded with so much political news, it just becomes exhausting mentally. And I think everyone experiences this to some degree, but I feel like younger people like me, like people who are my age, are the ones who experience it the most. I also think a common misconception about young people and politics is that we don't care. But the thing is, it's not that young people don't care about politics, it's that we see the shambles we will be left in once we get to vote. And we realize that we pretty much have no power over it. Now, I know I might not be speaking for every young person out there, but when I speak to most of my friends my age, this idea does get thrown around a lot. Besides this being a problem for young people themselves, it's also a pretty big problem for society as a whole, because if you think about it, we are the ones who will be leading the country when all the old guys die, which is pretty soon. Look how ancient they are. No, but seriously, a study conducted by Think Forward Australia shows that a whopping 97% of young Australians believe that current politicians are, quote, self-interested, short-sighted, and corrupted by donors and special interest groups, and that they, quote, have minimal confidence in the ability of governments to craft long-term and meaningful policies to respond to the most crucial problems facing their age cohort. In short, it just feels like the adults are making a huge mess and we're the ones who are being left to clean it up. And not only this, the stuff that circulates around social media doesn't help either. I'm sure most of you have seen the shenanigans known as the Jubilee surrounded debates. That's a whole other video, let's not get into it. But jokes aside, the constant pulling of strings by social media pretty much forces us to take sides. You're either a woke liberal who stands up for literally everything and gets offended by literally everything, or you're a conservative who wants their rights stripped away from them. There's no in between. Sometimes it just feels like even the people on social media don't know what side they're on. Every human wants to feel like they belong. It's human nature. I think you're familiar with the political spectrum or compass or whatever shape they're using now. But in reality, it's considered pretty inaccurate and it oversimplifies politics way too much, treating politics as some black and white thing. But in essence, these kinds of political frameworks support one thing that everyone strives for: a group and a sense of belonging. If we're going to oversimplify this, let's say we have two groups, the left wings and the right wings. If we're going to quote the political spectrum itself, we would define the left wings as people who hold the belief that the economy should be run by a cooperative collective to prioritize social equality, rather than being left to competing individuals in free markets. We would then define the right wings as having the desire for the economy and resources to be managed by competing individuals and private organizations rather than by the government or a collective. Great. So if we have these two options and put in these list forms and just drag them to show which ones I agree with and which ones I don't agree with, well, I mean, I agree that the economy should be left to competing individuals because I think you should be able to work hard to get what you want. But wait, I also do agree that the economy should be run by a collective so we have more opinions. But this can't be happening. That's a contradiction of ideas. Again, this example was super oversimplified because we didn't even take into account how the whole idea of, the rich needing to pay less plays into the entire flow of the economy, and also the fact that politics isn't just about economy either. And we didn't even touch topics like abortion rights, cancel culture, immigration laws, and so much more that makes up politics. But the only issue with this is I don't necessarily belong to one side, and honestly, that should be okay. If I'm gonna be honest, there are some values that I share with the left and some I share with the right, and I've accepted that. Wait, but what about when I can vote? Undoubtedly, this is the most important thing when it comes to your political opinions, who you vote for. Now, I'm unlucky, I still can't tell, to not be voting in the next Australian federal election because I'll be 17, but who I vote for has definitely crossed my mind. It's not that I have so many people to choose from and I'm overwhelmed because of that. It's just that they're all kind of bad and I now need to figure out who the least bad one is out of all of them. That's pretty much why I'm overwhelmed. But look, on one side, we've got people like Pauline Hanson, the Australian female version of Trump, who was also an avid fish and chips shop owner. Just thought I'd add that in there. But no, definitely not her. Oh, and on the other side, we've also got people like Jacinta Allen, who I'm not quite sure what she's doing now, but whatever it is, not many people are a big fan of her. See my problem? Now, I know that this video overall has been pretty doom and despairy, but despite all the sad facts I pointed out being quite sad, voting is the main way we can actually make change, unless you're a politician, of course. So I want to end this video not with a remark to get you to vote for a certain party, but to stay true to your values and your beliefs. Of course, be open-minded and listen to other people's ideas because that's also really important and you can make a lot of more informed decisions listening to other people compared to if you just stay closed-minded and you only think about your perspectives. But just remember that you don't have to pick sides to be politically knowledgeable and to keep up with current affairs. And to be honest, it's kind of peaceful here in the middle.